What's up, everybody? It's your boy Keefe. I am back with another Ghost Cult Mags weekly ritual. Forgive the mess behind me. Only partially dressed the set today. It's lame, I know. Thursday night, well, like we're supposed to be. We're here to talk metal with you. I'm here, you're there, wherever you are in the world. I'm in California on Pacific time. Just hope everybody's good this week, man. It's been a week, and we have a lot to catch up on. And I am just trying to do the damn thing. So forgive me while we do that. But trying to make sure I have all the devices going. Let's see what is what. There we go. Let's see. That looks good. That looks good. Lots in store. Hey, my love of my life is here. My wife, amazing, patient, kind. We made an amazing feast tonight, or I made for her. I have to say, I've been married a little over a month. My birthday, I'll be 54 in 3.5 weeks, and I am sincerely happy. I'm really doing amazingly well, I gotta say. It's always been a quiet storm of drama, an existential crisis all the time, but I'm thriving, and I hope you are too. And if you're not, I'm here for you. So that's cool, we're always trying to do the damn thing and help people whenever we can, which we'll talk about in a second. All the ways we can help people. Eric Kaplan is here. What up? Jay is here. Rick is here. Thanks from wherever you're watching. Those loyal to the soil. Real ones, I appreciate you, everydayers. I can't, you could be spending your time with anyone. You're spending your time with me, which is super nice, and I appreciate it. And we're an endangered species. Music journalism, independent, bullshit-free music journalism it's suffering right now after those recent layoffs and things. We'll catch up a little bit on that in a while. I've been talking to some folks in the business, my peers. Ivana Riot is here. What up? What up? So yeah, let's get into the thing and do all the things. I always have the deck designed to help me. I'm going to drink some liquid death. I got a convicted melon. Here's how we do this, by the way. If this is your first time here, feel free to like and subscribe. It helps us out. Ghost Cult Mag is a DIY enterprise. We are an independent music journalism website, 24/7, 365. We don't take time off. We make a little bit of money from some affiliate partners, and some advertising, but not a whole lot. And we are here to spread the word, to spread the goddamn. Lost my camera for a second. Here we go. Always, we start with the announcements. We have some heavy ones just to share with you. But a really good thing popped up right before I went live, which is we have passed 2,100,000 streams on YouTube. So a lot of you are watching here on YouTube or because of YouTube. We have 3 YouTube channels, maybe 3.5 or 4 technically. And but our main channel here, we've got almost 7,000 subs, over 2 million views lifetime. That's in 13, 14 years. And I'm really proud of that. So I want to thank everybody that's helped. Drake Core, what up, son? Good to see you. Great person on TikTok to follow. I don't know if you're anywhere else, Drake Core, but let us know if you're on the other things as well. But super cool. Once again, our album of the month is Fuming Mouth's The Ringing Bell, as voted on by our staff. Won in a very close competition with Quicksand's new album, which I'm also huge on. But Fuming Mouth, go check that out. We also have a recent interview with them. We are still sharing the news and the GoFundMe for Don Lawson. Don is the dean of metal journalists. You often see his stuff on Blabbermouth and Metal Hammer. He was at Bloodstock Open Air, as were we, covering it, and he had a heart attack. He's in the hospital getting stronger and better every day, but he's going to need some help with those medical bills because there's no real insurance for bands, artists, and journalists. Camo78 is here. What's up, Camos? Good to see you. Also, just lot of heavy anniversaries and a lot of heavy passings in the world. It's 10 years since the death of Melina Delamargio, former Ghost cultist. Also worked for Loudwire and the Phoenix New Times. She was a dear friend. You've seen us share a lot of tributes around. Whimsy Fox is here. What's up, Whimsy Fox? And Benny. Good to see you all. But yeah, Melina, you still see her photos pop up on our site from time to time in our socials, but a really hard one. And then hard to believe, but 6 years since Matt Davies, Rafa Davies, who was a senior editor for Ghost Cult in London, passed away. He had beaten leukemia and then passed away from COVID. Just absolutely terrible. It was one of the rare European ghost cultists I met in person. He came to New York on several occasions for business, and we used to hang out when I lived in New York, and we would get lunch or breakfast. And it was just really lovely to see him. We went to see Ghost together. Ghost for first big arena show ever in North America was in Brooklyn, and he and I and his wife went to the show. It was incredible, and I miss him a lot. He was great. Also, Frank Beard of ZZ Top passed away this week at age 77. Apparently, he had been in hospice. He had stepped down from the band on multiple occasions the last couple of years due to ill health. Billy Gibbons, Reverend Billy G, is the only member of ZZ Top still with us. They're still on tour. A lot of people paid tribute. ZZ Top, really one of the most somehow underrated but great rock bands of America. We don't have a lot of great, authentic American rock bands, and ZZ Top is one of them. God's Favorite Laugh is here. Teledork is here. KY is here. Stoic Rockstar. Is that it? Stoic Rockstar. Teledork. David Creech. Rip Frank Beard, the only member of ZZ Top without a beard. The irony is not lost on me. Phil Lynott would have celebrated a birthday today. Love Philo, A Thin Lizzy, much more than a hits band. America Radio only plays the hits. Phil was incredible, just incredible. We lost Screaming Mad George, a legendary horror makeup designer and effects, creature effects, Slipknot mask creator. Apparently passed away at the start of the year, like closer to February, and his family did not want to really share the news until now for whatever personal reasons, and they asked that it stay private. What's up, Vision Scopes? Appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you dropped some likes, man. Thanks so much. Appreciate you. And anybody that follows us on whatever socials, TikTok, YouTube, whatever, become a member of our community and I will follow you back. That's what I do. I try to stay committed because we're trying to stay alive here in this crazy wilderness of music journalism. This one broke me a little bit, man. Sake Nangam is here also. Hayden Panettiere, man, phenomenal actress and personality. First became aware of Hayden because of Remember the Titans when she was a little child actor, but she was burst onto national prominence on TV shows like Heroes in Nashville. And she passed away at 35, terribly young. And there's been a lot of stuff, a lot of discussion and chatter about her on and off struggles with mental health and other issues. And she used to be a spokesperson for Neutrogena, and she talked about having postpartum depression after the birth of her child with her former partner, Vladimir Klitschko, the heavyweight champion of the world at one point. And they dropped her for talking publicly about her depression. So for people who still say like, oh, everybody, it's okay. People are talking a lot about their mental health or whatever. No, it's not okay because it's still stigmatized, man. And Neutrogena is a brand I have liked just as a person with some complicated skin problems in life. And I've always liked that brand. And, they admitted wrong. Their stock is tanking. There's a huge public backlash. Nick Parco's here. What's up, bud? Sergio's here. Appreciate you all. Again, appreciate all the likes on this live stream here. I appreciate everybody. This one hurt too. Linda Bean, Boston rocker. Linda Bean Pardee died. she had been in a ton of great punk rock bands. Really a sort of a force in punk rock in Boston for like 35, 40 years. Really sad. Died young. Another one. Another lost one. 1 year ago, Brent Hines of Mastodon passed away. I think it was like Ozzy was just very fresh in all our minds, and then Brent died very tragically in a motorcycle accident when he had the right of way and someone did not yield for him. A lot of tributes, a lot of 1 year remembrances. I posted one on our site. Rest in peace and empower Dirty B. I was a big fan. Also, Dimebag Darrell would have celebrated his 60th birthday today. How tragic that he was cut down young. Very sad. Died 32 years ago. Also, Frankie Benali died on this week in history. Very sad. Frankie Benali of Quiet Riot. Quiet Riot's still around in his name, as according to his final wishes. Lane Staley would have celebrated a birthday today as we record this. This one is a recent passing, like a week and a half ago. Mike Milford, you probably know him best from the band Scar the Martyr. I am not a pastor. But Mike was also a music industry leader with Artery Foundation and Artery Recordings and just a really loved character. And I had forgotten just until tonight that I had photographed Scar the Martyr like 12 years ago at New England Metal and Hardcore Fest when I used to do concert photography as well as manage this website and things. But yeah, just super sad that he passed away. Cancer sucks. I know I didn't get it into the news in time, but I think Vivian Campbell of Def Leppard's cancer is back. It's being treated, but it's back. That kind of sucks completely. I hate cancer. Also passed away this week in history, Vince Neil's young daughter, Skylar. If you saw the Dirt documentary, the fictional story of Motley Crue's history, and the little girl who plays his daughter is like, "Why am I sick, Daddy?" And like, if you want, you didn't want to cry during the Motley Crue snort, Ozzy snorts ants and pee, and the band does all kinds of drugs. And then the little girl is like, "Why'd I have to get sick, Daddy? I don't feel good." Horrible. But, did what it was supposed to do. Sorry, Skylar. Joe Strummer would have celebrated, I think, his 75th birthday this week. This is my favorite picture, one of my favorite murals in New York City of Joe. I shot this photo. Serge Tankian celebrates a birthday on Friday of System of a Down, bigger than they have ever been now, which is crazy. Also celebrating a birthday this week, Jared McEachern of Machine Head. Another passed away remembrance. This is Dustin Hardman, a music industry person I'm friends with. He posted this picture of Chris Sangarides. You might know Chris. He produced a bunch of Def Leppard records and records for bands like Anvil and Iron Maiden and a ton of heavy metal bands. He was a real sweet guy by all accounts. Rip to him. Also, Sammy from Exhumed, happy birthday. Also, Ian Gillan turned 81 this week. This is a picture from last week where Ian was joined, Deep Purple was joined by Richie Blackmore. I never thought I would live to see the day. Robert Plant celebrates a birthday today. He is 76. Milo Silvestro of Fear Factory celebrated a birthday today. In rock history, Fred Durst had a birthday this week. Now on to some metal history, some music history. This album came out 40 years ago this week, Slippery When Wet by Bon Jovi. I'm sorry, TikTok, T-Love is here also. This record was banned from stores because it was too sexually suggestive of a woman in a wet t-shirt with boobs and stuff. You can't really see nipples. You just see a little bit of under cleavage, under boob. Maybe you see the outline of breasts. America is so conservative, man. So fucking conservative. It's crazy. But I remember when my music teacher brought this into music class in 1986. And thank you, Anthony Mazzarello, wherever you are, probably in heaven, because you gave this young person a boner at junior high school. And I was really thrilled to have this record played in class because I was like, oh my God, he's playing that record. And then the re-release of the sleeve is like water on a windshield and slippery when wet written on it. Really stupid. Really, really dumb. Anyway, other albums that had a release or top events in rock and metal this past week. Exodus released Force of Habit this week in metal history. Cradle of Filth's classic Cruelty and the Beast came out at this time. Probably the record that kind of made black metal a little more mainstream, for better or worse. Ozfest 2004, which I attended. Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, Slayer, Dimmu Borgir, Superjoint Ritual, Black Label Society, Slipknot, Hatebreed, Lamb of God, Atreyu, Every Time I Die, Lacuna Coil, Bleeding Through, Unearth, OTEP on the second stage. That is crazy, that lineup. Also, the Moscow Music Peace Festival, which was supposed to be for Motley Crue's manager not to go to jail for drug charges, and they were all on drugs except Motley Crue. Bon Jovi, Scorpions, Motley Crue, Ozzy, Cinderella, Gorky Park, a Russian rock band, and Skid Row. Incredible. That was live streamed on MTV. 2 album anniversaries this week for Typo Negative. 33 years of Bloody Kisses and 30 years today of October Rust. We are big Typo Negative fans here. Typo Negative is currently, members of Typo Negative are mixing a long-lost live album that is supposed to see release later this year or early next year, and I'm here for it. Machine Head's Burn My Eyes celebrated its 32nd anniversary. Soilwork, Ogverheten, had a release 4 years ago. Great album. Soilwork, one of the more consistent bands across their whole career, as far as I'm concerned. Sabaton, the Last Stand, had a record release a few years ago. I believe a deluxe version is coming out soon on vinyl. Monsters of Rock, AC/DC, Van Halen, Ozzy Osbourne, Gary Moore, yesterday and today, except Motley Crue in the UK. Pretty cool. Metallica's first ever LA show was this week, Wednesday, August 18th in 1982. Pretty wild. Another Monsters of Rock feature. This is the pinnacle, man. 88. Iron Maiden, Kiss, David Lee Roth solo, Megadeth, GNR, Halloween. Good Lord. Good Lord. What a lineup that is. It is that part of the show when we say, if you're feeling tipsy, please give us a tip. I will drop the tip menu here in the comments. Much appreciated, everybody. If you want to help us out, again, we are DIY business. If you want to become a member on YouTube, you get all our videos first. We're going to be launching some very specific, channel-specific tiers of things and fan clubs and things, because it's hard out here for us to make it without some help, just to be honest. But we're always going to be here. I'm always going to do this. It'll always be mostly free, but we will have opportunities for people to support us so we can keep doing what we love to do. All right. It's time for the features, and as always with the features, we talk about some things we did this week, some just to remind you of some things we did. Last night I did a live stream. Maybe you were here and saw it. I reviewed the new Marilyn Manson album, One Assassination Under God, Chapter 1. It is awesome. It shocked me how much I liked it and how much I feel like I'm going to return to this album for the rest of this year. A little bit of the heavy classic Manson sound, a little bit of the groovy, sad post-punk, dark wave synth pop sound. Really good. Also, last week I did a live stream. I'm trying to ramp these back up again to a reasonable amount. I should be back next week with at least one or two. Why you are all wrong about the Black Album. Last week, the Black Album turned 35 years old, and I wanted to bring that to you. Stony Bubba's here, and Dodge is here. What's up? Thanks for being here. Appreciate everybody that's watching. New interviews this week. Victor Vesgarsen of Horseman, the Icelandic modern black metal band, was interviewed by Chris Elliott. Their new album is out now. I cannot pronounce it because it is some crazy Norse, Icelandic language that I can't speak. But killer album, killer guy, really good interview. Also, Chris talked to Kessie Gorin of Negative Frame. If you don't like black metal and you prefer hardcore and metallic hardcore and metalcore from the UK, one of the risingest bands in the world. Great new album. Negative Frame. It's Break the Ice is their new record. Yo, Jorge is here. What's up, brother? Good to see you. It was great to see you last week. Also, recent interviews include Chris interviewing Spread the Disease, Dave Bushmeyer, their comeback record after 3 decades. And again, I mentioned our album of the month is Fuming Mouth, and we talked to Tim Leedon of Ghost Cult, talked to Mark Whalen. What's up, man? I'm just doing the rock and metal news on a late Thursday night. You must be getting home from work. Thanks again for coming up last week. It was wonderful to see you. My other podcast is the Glacially Musical Podcast, Beer, Metal, and Swearing. We are continuing our series this week on Guns N' Roses with Use Your Illusion Part 1. It is 16 songs. It is Guns N' Roses did Load and Reload before Metallica did, and I wonder if Metallica didn't do it because of them, but we tackled the first one this week. Next week we'll do Use Your Illusion 2. Check out our current series. As always, since the pandemic, we have been giving free publicity to bands. Find out how to get your band, your DIY store, your record label, your independent merch store, whatever thing, your .org, whatever you have that you do. We want to help shine a light on you by sharing it in our most watched stuff, which is our video interviews on YouTube that I just mentioned. Those are our most watched things beside our website. So screenshot you subscribing to us and then DM us that screenshot and we will hook it up. Right. Also, all right, time for the news rundown. As always, we start with metal festivals. We are already covering Arctangent Festival this weekend. Primus, Chelsea Wolf, Cult of Luna, and Julie Christmas. Igor, Napalm Death, Seek, Perturbator, High on Fire, Agent Fresco, Alcest, Oathbreakers, Return, Conjurer, Svalbard, Brutus, Joe Quail, Ghost Cult Favorite, Psychonaut, Ghost Cult Favorite. So many killer bands. This is their last year at the venue they're in. This, at the present, next year, I'm going to have to move to a new venue, but I'm really excited that we're covering this again. I'd like to get out there for it. Ozfest is coming back officially. Both Sharon Osbourne and Jack Osbourne gave interviews where they confirmed Ozfest is coming back to Villa Park. Villa Park. Is that Dimebag on my mind? Sorry. Ozfest is coming back as a one-day festival where Back to the Beginning took place. I know that Sharon had said they were going to try to get a lot of newer bands, but it seems like it's going to be kind of rooted in the Ozfest roots with classic artists. So I think you'll have some big bands, your Slayers, maybe Metallica, maybe Megadeth this time, Judas Priest, Scorpions, and a lot of Ozzy and Black Sabbath tributes, and then some younger bands. And then hopefully later in the year, there will be a one-off Ozfest in America. They would like to do multiple ones or a tour, similar to what Warped Tour has done, but we shall see. Drums of War Metal Fest is next weekend in Barcelona, Spain, or Barcelona. Let's see, Destruction, 1349, Tormentor, Onslaught, Campfire, Impaled, Nazarene, Jesus. This is an incredible lineup. In the Woods, lots of black metal, lots of black and death metal, lots of death metal, Destruction for some thrash, Unleashed, really great lineup there. They announced their daily running order for the fest. Also, Aftershock dropped their daily running order. My Chemical Romance, Limp Bizkit, Pierce the Veil, and Tool. Offspring, Suicide Boys, A Day to Remember, and Queens of the Stone Age is your top line of bands. This is really funny. Amigo the Devil posted that he's invited back to Bourbon and Beyond. We've covered that a few times, usually like fancy drinks and food and hard rock and pop. And this year it's Foo Fighters, Mumford & Sons, Casey Musgraves, Queens of the Stone Age, War on Drugs, Dave Matthews Band, Counting Crows, and a bunch of others. And then Amigo the Devil and Beyond, he put this poster out. He was like, last time I performed there, I was either going to never be invited back or definitely be invited back. So I was really happy to get invited back. So I thought this poster was amazing. Make it all about you. In this case, awesome. Ripplefest Texas has announced their daily running order for September 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th, right around my birthday in Austin, I believe. Coming back to Denver, Decibel Metal and Beer Fest, Down, Suicidal Tendencies, Pig Destroyer, Lisa, Cro-Mags playing all of Age of Quarrel. Pig Destroyer is going to do all of Prowler in the Yard. Black Breath returning, Intronaut returning, Haggis in the Company of Serpents, big fan of them. Really cool. I wouldn't mind going out to that. See where we are in life in 4 months. All right, that was all the festival news. More to come next week, of course. And now it's time for concerts. Tomorrow, Acid Bath and Obituary are playing in New York City. Omar's going to go cover that for Ghost Cult, so look out for his coverage there soon. I know Thou had to drop off all their tour dates due to a family medical emergency, and they are not on the show anymore, but that's a bummer. But Obituary and Acid Bath, a killer one, too. I saw Obituary and Acid Bath in June. Dimmu Borgir is wrapping up their couple of weeks, 3 weeks of touring in the North America. Of course, Hypocrisy had to miss the tour, but Suffocation and Holder are the openers. Hopefully, we get Dimmu back next year. Freaks on Parade kicked off tonight. Rob Zombie and Marilyn Manson. Last couple of times they toured, it was okay. Time before that, it wasn't. The Who, the Mongolian metal band, and Orgy are the openers. We are also hoping to cover this in New Jersey next week. Also, Summer Slaughter Tour Part 2 kicked off tonight. Hatebreed, Terror, Incantation, Gates to Hell, Torture, and more. Very excited about that. Might try to get that covered. Again, my homies in the Challenged are kicking off some tour dates in September of the Midwest and East Coast. Iron Maiden is about to kick off the Run for Your Lives tour with Megadeth and Anthrax on some dates. Not really coming near me, but I would love to see this. I'm not going to tour too much anymore. Once again, Bo Luder's memorial show, Harm's Way, Twitching Tongues, Linda Claire, Weekend Nachos, and The Killer, all taking place next weekend. We'll talk about this some more. System of a Down has announced their second set of shows, this time one night only in Barcelona, Spain, with Faith No More. Again, just similar to Acid Bath, I think they're going to just drip out these shows in South America and Central America and Mexico, and then hopefully do festivals in America. Maybe Faith No More will do some headline shows here and there. I would really like it if they did, but we're not in charge of that, so we just do our best. Havoc announced a big tour this week with Hell Ripper coming up soon. Very cool. Exhumed is going on the Long and Grinding Road 2026 Part 2 test, Redder Asphalt Edition. Can't read all these bands, but I see Savage Master and Boulder on there. 2 excellent bands. Savage Master are homies. They're great. Down has kicked off their new tour with Helmet and Spirit in the Room. We have some Down news coming up soon. New Down album coming soon. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Twin Temple. We've been talking a lot about this band that I really love. The satanic doo-wop group Doomed Lovers Tour has added more dates and has added the legendary drag queen and DJ Peaches Christ to the San Francisco show. I believe that is September 30th at the Castro Theater. Sure to be a sellout. I saw Twin Temple open for Ghost, and I saw Twin Temple a couple other times headline, including a New Year's Eve show. I don't usually do New Year's Eve, but there was one New Year's Eve and one Halloween where I saw them. Gorillaz is coming to New York City soon on their arena tour, and they have announced the House of Kong sort of pop-up museum and shop. And this is in Brooklyn, not too far from where the arena is where they're going to play. So that's kind of fun. That's crazy. Amity Affliction has announced a tour of the UK supporting their new album. I was like, oh, who are they? I totally disassociated for a minute. Sorry about that. Atavistia is going to tour Canada. Atavistia, Amnesia, and Troll War. Troll War is a super fun band. I've seen them live. Motley Crue's on tour right now with Tesla and Extreme, and the reports are not good. Vince sounds bad, but apparently Tesla and Extreme are pretty great. And I think Extreme has been playing a Black Sabbath cover. Skin Lab has announced a brief bunch of tour dates with Cemetery Legacy. Pretty cool. I saw them once. Kicking off in late September. Jackson is here. Cozy Betty is here. Mr. Meir is here. Noah's here. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you all. Youngblood was in Sturgis to play. He had been kind of taking some time off. Shout out to Kicking Harold for sharing this graphic. Fell off his motorcycle and hurt his leg. Still performed in a chair. Came on stage with a walker and his leg wrapped up, busted his leg up. Still performed. Love that guy. But he really needs to take care of himself. Take it easy, Youngblood. Take it easy. Jeff Tate will be in the UK and Ireland this weekend. Ireland is the UK, by the way, for this poster. But Operation Mindcrime in its entirety, Belfast, Dublin, and London. Very cool. The next few weeks. All right, Lorna Shore, Whitechapel, and the Acacia Strain have announced dates for Australia and New Zealand. Very cool. As Lorna Shore plays out the string on their current album, Whitechapel also put out a new album early this year. Acacia Strain, hopefully new music coming soon. They're touring a lot behind their last album. Mortis, When You Look Like This, and then it's Dungeon Synth. Mortis's Latin America tour is kicking off in Mexico City in October and going all the way Mexico, Colombia, Brazil, Argentina, and Chile. Very cool. Big Ass Truck, who just signed a new record deal, has announced a big headline tour, their biggest headline tour ever, with a bunch of hardcore, punchy hardcore bands. Very cool. Thrashback is here. What up, Thrashback? And Chiefs for Life. What up? Cemetery Skyline is a supergroup of melodic death metal guys, and they have kind of a goth rock, hard rock band, which is a lot of fun. They're doing their first tour of Asia, China, and Japan. Very cool. Members of Dark Tranquillity, Sentenced, Amorphous, and more. Evil Dead is the crossover thrash band from Los Angeles. I interviewed Juan of the Dead last year. He's in Body Count also. They've announced a handful of shows before they go to Asia for the first time. Very cool. Currently on tour, Monolord is on tour right now with Chemist. They just did the KXP radio broadcast live, or recorded live. Very cool. Catch them now while they're on tour. Monolord, new interview with Monolord on our YouTube and our podcasts. King Parrot has announced another run of dates for Europe this year. They are just killing it. And now we're at the halfway point of the show. Once again, I appreciate you all for being here. I will go back to putting myself on screen. Hey, it's me. Cheers. What are you guys listening to? Dougie is here. What music are you listening to this weekend as we head into the weekend? Do tell. Here's how the rest of the show is going to go. I'm going to talk about some of our affiliate partners and sponsors. I'm going to give you the rest of the news for the rest of the show, all the big stories of the week you might have missed, new music coming out, all kinds of stuff. We're going to talk about the ass clown of the week, somebody that deserves a punching and a pummeling. Then we're going to do New Music Friday. Going to do all the releases. I'm going to read them off to you, tell you what to get, what's essential, what you should do, band, and what music and genre they play and what to get. And then we're going to unbox, finally, my Boone's Overstock haul. And I want to talk about Little Planet Records and Boone's Overstock because I think it's important and cool. I've been saving this box for like 2 months before I moved. Fable Beard is one of our affiliate partners. If you want to get hooked up like me, you need Fable Beard and Fable Beauty products. I've got the Marksman deodorant right here. It's all natural, doesn't irritate you. It smells great. You're clean and fresh using all natural products. If you sign up with the link in our description, you get $10 off your first order, and we get free stuff. So definitely hook it up. Link in our bio and Linktree and all that jazz. We are also part of the Lamb Goat Network. Lamb Goat, the much meaner version of Ghost Cult. When you see ads on our website, that is through Lamb Goat. Thanks, Lamb Goat. And also, shout out to Craig Caruso of Caruso Apps. If you have a web-based business like we do, we have a 15-year-old website with 100 gigs of memory and photos and stories and interviews and things. It would not run without Craig. Check him out at carusoapps.net. All right, and of course, this is on StreamYard. Again, I keep feeling like I'm going to move over to Riverside at some point, but for now, StreamYard. Big news of the week. Let's do it. Metallica, hard to believe, but Hardwired to Self-Destruct came out 10 years ago today. And to celebrate, the band put up a video of them playing it live for the first time ever when they opened up the Minnesota Vikings football stadium. And which we covered, interestingly enough, and they also used the soundboard mix. So it's the video, pro shot video of them playing it for the first time, and a pro shot audio, like soundboard audio and pro shot video, which a lot of their stuff is. But I think it was interesting to see that they had, even then, they were doing this. Whenever you see these live Metallica videos pop up, it's awesome because that's really what you're getting is that experience. It's not quite as good as being there, but like if you can't be there, it is the next best thing. Down, as I mentioned earlier, on tour right now with Helmet, and hopefully we'll get that tour covered. Down has announced Down 5 or Down V, their new album. Dropped a brand new song, Blood Oath. I absolutely loved it. It was groovy as fuck. I cannot wait for new Down to hit. I'm really excited, and I hopefully they'll be playing some new stuff live. That's great. Another interesting one here. Wolves in the Throne Room dropped a new single. So much new music. Tons of new music came out this week and announcements of new albums. So Wolves in the Throne Room announced a new album called The Estuary. Very, very cool. Enslaved announced a new album, dropped a new single and video. Gears is a band we've done a bunch of premieres for. Really great hard rock band, kind of similar to Seven Dust or Shinedown. They dropped a new song. Machine Head has announced a new batch of their Shotgun Blast whiskey. I certainly would love to try it, but I don't have $250 to buy a case of glass shotguns that will most surely get broken. One my dumbass, but maybe there'll be a Machine Head event or a hometown show or something where you can buy it. I was hoping they had it when I saw them last, but they didn't. Also, a new album, The Lurks, another band we've interviewed a couple of times. Coming out soon, very cool. That's the UK band, kind of grungy hard rock. Remy Wolf is an artist I've been a big fan of, kind of rock, kind of pop. Saw them live at Bottle Rock a couple of years ago. Announced their new album, Mud. A lot of fun with the Mud album cover there, covered in mud. Nice. Got to be good on your skin for sure. Escador is a Colombian black metal band. They announced a new album and dropped a new single. Very cool. Also with a new album out soon. I was kind of, like, again, I'm always surprised at anybody that says like, oh, I can't find anything new to listen to, or there are no new bands that are good. You're just not trying, right? Because you just haven't tried hard enough. Because if you try hard, you will find plenty of stuff to listen to. But another band, kind of a band coming back, is the Number 12 Looks Like You, which is a post-hardcore metalcore band. They are releasing their first album in 7 years. So certainly there's no shortage of stuff to listen to. It's just, do you have the right playlists on? Are you buying the right vinyl? Are you listening to your friends? Or are you checking us out, who will tell you what to check out and buy? Oh, man, this one killed me. Jennifer Finch, who passed away recently from L7 from brain cancer, finished their biography and their memoir right before they died. Shooting Up and Making Out. Jennifer Finch, co-written with journalist Jeff Alios. Memoir of my life in LA and L7. Looking forward to reading this, but I know it's going to make me cry. Ugly cry like Laura Dern, all over the place. Following up on a few stories from the last few weeks, we still don't have an official word from Slipknot or Sid Wilson. Is he in or out? We're assuming he's out, since Slipknot posted and then deleted a statement that said he was no longer affiliated with the band. Ghost Darkness is here. What's up? What's up? No longer affiliated. That's pretty strongly worded, you know? Beat the Tars here. Hey, Dylan, what's up? Good to see you. But yeah, no, the whole music journalism world has been like, is he in or is he out? And it really, at a certain point, we stopped caring. But like, Slipknot has been a brand more than a band since 2003 when Clown and Corey kind of took it over. I'm sure Jim is the next to go. Honestly, he's been close to being out a few times and has admitted that there were a couple of records in the last 10 years where he didn't even lift a pen to write anything, lift a guitar pick, nothing. That being said, usually when they close ranks like this, they announce something else. So I suspect you'll see a lot of Slipknot headline tour stuff and maybe a new album next year without Sid. What else? Other stuff going on in the world. Luke Keller, who passed away last month. One of my more favorite things ever is the New York Hardcore Chronicles. Shout out to Drew Stone. He's a homie. We've been longtime fans and friends, and he does the New York Hardcore Chronicles, and there's going to be a Lou Keller Memorial Show episode of the New York Hardcore Chronicles on YouTube or Facebook. Go check it out. Again, new Mastodon next week. Probably going to be one of my live streams next week is going to be my review of the new Mastodon album, Marrow Deep, coming out, their first album for Loma Vista Recordings. Stay tuned for that. Ricky Rocket has announced his memoir is coming out, and we were debating about this on my other podcast, the Glacial Musical Podcast. Shout out to Don DeLamont, who was like vouched for Ricky Rocket as a pretty decent, upstanding guy who's kind of had some pathos later in life and probably talk about his cancer battle and sort of stuff with Poison. I don't think it's going to be gross. Hopefully not going to be another gross memoir by some dumb white clan metal fuck. But Don vouched for Ricky, and that goes a long way with me. And you will see Don sometimes on Ghost Cult also writing stuff and doing interviews on YouTube. This is super interesting. Nick Raskulinecz has launched his own record label focused on up-and-coming bands and just doing kind of a single release or 2 single releases at a time. And he dropped a new single from the band Dune Mutuals, which is super interesting name, and here they are. And I heard the track and I liked it. So very cool. Something worth checking out. Another band with brand new music coming out, like so many others, is Vampires Everywhere has been dropping like 1 single at a time for the whole year, and I think eventually this will lead up to an album. And so they dropped their new single and lyric video for the song Unwell. Big Vampires Everywhere fan. DIY, mostly doing it right for the longest time. Very cool. Let's see, what else? This is really interesting. Waylon Revis, the former lead singer of Mushroomhead, we've interviewed recently. Waylon dropped a cover of The Weeknd's Blinding Lights as a kind of metal song, and it's really good. It works. I was really surprised at how well it works. I couldn't believe how well it worked. I got to catch up with him. His 2 albums out of his trio, Victim 1, Victim 2 are out now. Victim 3 is announced. So probably catch up with him again or someone with him. Brat dropped another new single off of their upcoming EP, Manslayer. Brat, one of my favorite bands of the last few years. Texas Hippie Coalition is kind of like a band if they drank a 40-pack of Coors Light, listened to nothing but Black Label Society's first 3 records, and then took giant bong rips, you would get Texas Hippie Coalition, THC, get it? They're putting out 2 new albums to celebrate 25 years as a band from their new record label, Big Dad Records. Very cool. Roger Taylor of Queen is putting out a solo album on my birthday, and he just dropped the first single. I love this black and white photo of him with only the red shoes, which evokes several things. The red shoes, the musical, obviously Eddie Van Halen's red Converse kicks, or of course Marty McFly's red sneakers, or Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz in her ruby red slippers. This was really cool. Another kind of new music surprise. Rise Against dropped a double single. They put out a couple of albums the last few years, like an album and an EP. So very interesting to see Rise Again with more new music. They're on tour right now. Also, this is super interesting. Afrofuturism is a super group of rappers and members of Sons of Ra, the metal band. And it's sort of a rap collective, and it's pretty jazz-influenced jazz rap. Very interesting stuff like Gangstar, which I was always a huge fan of, to be honest. Let's see, what else? Super appreciative of everybody tuning in. The Body and Cell Genesis. Cell Genesis is a sort of an eclectic electric artist. What's up, Cass Benstar? No, not doing any requests. Can Pierce pass by? The homie, what up? Noah, thanks. Raul, appreciate you. Spork38, appreciate you for being here. Everybody watching. They're dropping a collab album. But The Body does collab albums like nobody's business. If you want real avant-garde, eclectic, interesting metal, and kind of like four hideously ugly guys, and Cell Genesis is this lithe Asian woman. But anyway, second question tonight: if I am a pastor. I am not a pastor. I am absolutely not religious in any way, shape, or form. If you are, do you? But I'm not. My higher power is music, riffs. This is all my own concern. My wife and riffs. That's all I care about, and a few of my friends. Sixth Sense is a band led by Vicky Psaris, formerly of The Agonists. Their new album, new EP, Funerals, is coming soon. And they dropped a new single, killer band, kind of metalcore, rap metal, a little bit. Heavy Healing is a documentary that is coming out soon. I'm pretty interested in that. I know a Travis Barker documentary hit Hulu. I'm probably going to watch it at night at some point, late at night. Mayor James Keenan of Tool, Pussifer, and A Perfect Circle has launched yet another business in his home area of Cottonwood or Jerome, Arizona, near Tucson. And he is now launching Queen Bee Sushi to go along with his Queen Bee vinyl store, coffee shop, Merkin Vineyards, all his things. So very cool. He is apparently very passionate about sushi and has been for 26 years. This is really great, man. The new God's Hate record is an absolute banger. I listened to it yesterday. It is dedicated to bow looters of Harm's Way. Won't Be Disgraced is the name. And it features a Harm's Way cover, and it has members of Harm's Way on it, and it's just epic. Definitely heart-wrenching. Deftones dropped a new merch collab with the Brooklyn Merch Company. Streetwear, long sleeve shirts, skateboard shoes, skate pants, things like that. All right, that's all the news. And now it's time for the Ask Clown of the Week. And I can't wait to talk to you about this because I'm going to tell you why. I am going to do this. The Ask Clown of the Week is country artist Charlie Crockett. And normally, modern country music just doesn't do it for me. Just not for me. I like outlaw country, Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings, Chris Christopherson, Willie, Dolly, George Jones, Tammy Wynette, Loretta Lynn, Reba. But new country kind of sucks. And so Charlie had booked a tour, and Twin Temple had been booked to do a handful of dates with them because they draw and they're up and coming. And because they took those handful of dates, they couldn't do any more tours that summer. They had to block out the regions where he's touring so they can promote his tour, even for just a couple of dates. That's how tours work. I don't know if a lot of regular casual fans pay attention to that because, honestly, we're in kind of a 911. This pillow is getting to me. We're in kind of a 911 in the music business right now where shows are not selling. I know GNR had like maybe 20,000 people in a 70,000 people baseball stadium the other night. It's tough, and they're one of the biggest bands in the world. So Charlie Crockett, I'm going to do this dramatic rating of his Facebook post. So Twin Temple gets kicked off the tour because they're Satanists, which they are, openly satanic, and they do a satanic ritual on stage, but it's like almost wholesome presentation except for the ritual part. And they knew what they were booking, and for them to like play dumb and say it wasn't about Satan or it isn't about this band's content or whatever, we just kicked them off the tour. And it kind of fucked them. It fucked Twin Temple out of a whole summer of work because, again, they could not take other gigs while doing his couple of shows. And then luckily they booked their own tour quickly and it immediately started selling out. And Jack White jumped on and took them on some shows. So they're going to be okay. But here's Charlie Crockett a couple of days ago. Charlie Crockett is in the United States of America. I got to clear this up right quick. I never dropped that ban for those 2 shows for satanic imagery. They made it up and dragged me by a rope real good. Let me tell you something. Dragged by a rope is what white people used to do to black people in Texas. Drag them by a rope until they died in the South. That's a fucking terrible, like, even that is racist as fuck to say in 2026. But okay, I'm a fucking snowflake. Sorry. Not sorry. What's up, Butter and Angelica Rivera? So it all started about a month before these shows while we were off in Wyoming. Their production requests raised eyebrows because we couldn't accommodate them physically. They have a giant banner, and they have like 7, 8 people on stage. Then I noticed some things they've been doing on stage, and after thinking about it, I decided to cut them loose. We told them the vibe wasn't right, and we paid them in full. They got together with their business folks and plotted for days before finally making their public statement, designed for effect, purposely making it look like it was a whole tour, dog whistling about religious and creative freedom. This guy's a fucking dick, and none of that is true. Like, none of that is true. Hey, we got kicked off these 2 shows. That was our whole summer because of blocking out, exclusivity clauses, and he fucked them. I know who had their hand out, showering me with praise the last few years that used the situation to kick me in the dick. Maybe it's the America left-right culture war. They sanitize these folks' image for their own uses and clickbait traffic games. As for Jack White, who defended them and took him down, he used to sell tickets too, and I lost a lot of respect for him. I wonder why he wasn't so outspoken back when he was in White Stripes 20-something years ago. They purposely avoided political issues. No, they didn't. You clearly weren't paying attention to the White Stripes. Maybe he was worried about losing an audience back then when it was all on the line and he needed all the help he could get. Funny, I've got everything to lose right at this minute, and I still shoot from the hip. I've been speaking my heart against the wishes of the machine my whole life. Real patriots think for themselves. Party be damned. Dude, you are the ass clown of the week. This is a bunch of bullshit. Please don't use dragged by a rope. That's horrible. And just stop being fucking full of shit and tagging yourself in the United States of America and real patriots think for themselves. Just nonsense. Just nonsense. Hail Twin Temple, and you are a fucking joke. Anyway, with that out of the way, I'll get off my soapbox and we'll get into the new Music Friday of the week. Let's talk all about it. I'm going to read you off the list. Here's our cool thumbnail for you to enjoy. Holy shit, though. Fuck Charlie Crockett. GG Fan is here. What's up, bro? Just plowing through my show. Just a few minutes left, but I am going to do a big merch unboxing in a minute. Here's the new music releases coming out this weekend you need to pick up and know about. Band name, album name, label, and genre. Argul, Soledad Argulo, personal records for some death metal. Axe City, The Pain Made Me Who I Am, Napalm Records for some heavy metal. Barbarians of California, Megatons, self-release for some hard rock. Cemetery Echo, Civitas Lacrimarium on Seeing Red Records, that's the goth rock band from death metal guys. Chelsea Wolf's new album, The Dark, on Loma Vista Recordings. Conjure Rights of Flesh on Void Wanderer Records for some death metal. A brand new album by great Swedish death metal band Dark Funeral, A Beast to Praise, Century Media Records. Death Grave's new album, Hell is Evil. Love them. Tank Crimes Records. Dysthenia, The Morning Darkness on Hypnotic Dirge Records for some doom and death. Staged, Niflheim on Black Lodge Records. Fen Elemental Part 1, Morning Earth on Prophecy Productions for some avant-garde black metal. Joyous Wolf, welcome back. In Between on Blue Grape Music for some hard rock. Let's see, My Dying Bride's Anthology of Somber Reflections box set of all their early classic stuff on Peaceville Records. Nova Riot, Blood Lies, and Lullabies on Eclipse Music. Oddland, Unilluminate to Illuminate, Frontiers SRL for some progressive rock. Pattern Seeking Animals, Grimalkin GEP Records for some avant-garde prog. Shamti Hayes, Cacophony, and White Light on Contem Light Records for some death metal. Speed Stroke, Damage Control on Scarlet Records for some heavy metal. Street Tombs, Existence is Corruption for death metal on Carbonized Records. Tokyo Blade, Hoist the Colors High on Dissonance Records for some classic heavy metal. Triskelion Metamorphosis on Moribund Records. Untitled with Drums Made Flesh on Season of Mist. And Wicked, Go Rebel self-release for some hard rock. All right. We are at a very manageable, just about an hour. So the final part of the show is always one of my favorites. And it's the mailbag. And this mailbag is awesome. We're going to talk about a haul I got from Boone's Overstock. So there's a record label called Brutal Planet Records that Brutal Planet Records, June Buds is also here, and Ghost in Me, West Virginia, I believe is here. Thanks for liking the live. Appreciate you. Fairy Ring, hey. Appreciate you too. So we're going to talk about Boone's Overstock, right? There's a lot of records that you're fans of. Hey, Matt Zappa passed by. Beast Punk, sorry, I missed this. That's beneficial. I had the big screen on the other, the Instagram screen covering you. But, so Boone's Overstock, I hear a lot of people ask about Brutal Planet Records. A lot of records you love from 10, 20, 30 years ago go out of print. They never got on vinyl. Vinyl is very big again. Cassettes are very big again. CDs are very big again. And so a lot of stuff you like and love isn't available on vinyl. And so what happens is if the record label is not interested in putting it out, they will sell the rights to other labels to license them to other places to then re-release them in an amount they think they can sell. So Brutal Planet Records is one of these things. And I hit them up and I was like, oh, hey, would you like to send me some vinyl? I'll do an unboxing and a deep dive review and all this stuff of these great records. And they're like, we don't really send out vinyl. And I was like, you know what? That's okay. I'll tell you why that's okay. Because I'm going to buy some of this stuff anyway. So they had a couple of exclusives, just like all your other websites do. Lamb Goat and Revolver, or I don't know what the future of that looks like, or Gimme Metal or Metal Edge, or all these property names, Consequence. Brooklyn Vegan used to do these exclusive metal variants for all your records. So Brutal Planet started getting these licenses of records that I personally loved from Century Media and Metal Blade and stuff that you just couldn't get anymore or was never on vinyl in the first place. So they had a sale. I might have been a July 4th sale. Not July 4th. It was like Memorial Day. So before I moved and before Milwaukee Metal Fest, they had a big sale. And I was like, oh, they have the new Armored Saint record with a vinyl variant that's just theirs. And they have, for the first time ever on vinyl, Charred Walls of the Damned, which is the supergroup death metal project from Richard Christie and Tim Ripper Owens, formerly of Judas Priest. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to get these. And then they have a whole bunch of stuff on sale, like not quite clearance, but discounted. So I think I spent like $120 in May. And I got like a gang of records. So I'm going to quickly go through them all. If they've got cool vinyl variants, I'll try to unbox them. I've got the second camera ready here. So I'm going to add this to the stage and move my mouse. And I'm going to show this to you guys here on TikTok. You'll still get to see them all. But I'm going to just share them now. So let's do that. I also got this. We got the Hello Kitty Toho Godzilla collab Happy Meal today because I'm fucking a child. Oh, we each got one. We each got this Hello Kitty. I know the whole nation is clamoring for these Hello Kitty dolls. in Godzilla costumes. It's adorable, but I do collect figures and toys and things. So let me add this camera view. Here we go. Boom. Boom goes the dynamite. Hey, it's me. All right. Here's my desk. Forgive my slightly messy desk. But anyhow, let's do these like this. So first off, Charred Walls of the Damned. Again, great melodic death metal. There's the vinyl. And so I've got the hype sticker. And so this is Frosty Ocean Blue Vinyl. Tim Owens, Jason Sukoff, Steve DiGiorgio, and Richard Christie. Limited run vinyl on Frosty Ocean Blue. So let's check this out. And I think Zero King is here. What's up? What's up? Smalls Bar, June Bugs. Dan is here. What's up? And again, I didn't really get a chance to, I've never looked at these or unboxed them. So this is the first time ever. I'm doing it right now on the show. You're going to see them all for the first time here. Kind of a trauma dump live on the air, which is kind of fun. So here's this beautiful Frosty Blue, if you can see it. I think it looks kind of cool. I don't think you're seeing it too well here. And here it is here, just so you guys can see it here on the screen. Beautiful. Usually if there's a fun color variant, I'm all about buying it, you know? Second record here, as I aforementioned, the new Armored Saint record, Emotion Factory Reset on Citrine Smoke, limited to 300 copies, a Boone's Overstock exclusive, stalwarts of American early heavy metal since the early 80s, produced by Joey Vera, big fan. This is number 51 of 300, by the way, so I'm really excited about this. I can't wait to put these in the proper sleeves, in my Mylar sleeves, and then put them on Discogs. Here's the beautiful Armored Saint Citrine Orange. It's translucent citrine. You can almost see me right through it. Kind of cool. Very cool. Next up, Witchery, Infernal Majesty's Service. In his Infernal Majesty's Service, bewitching black and white vinyl for some black metal, black and roll, contains 2 bonus tracks. I don't believe this has ever been on vinyl before. All these have like a lyric sheet and a very cool packaging. So here's the vinyl with the strip. And then the black and white. Let's see what the black and white is. If it's a merge, or is it just a, oh, interesting. Oh, it's kind of like a milky spray, like a spray. Super cool. Nice. All right, next up, I was super excited to get these. So these were on the discount side, but these have never been on vinyl to my knowledge, or very limited at first. This is the debut album by Brand New Sin. I'm a huge fan. You should check out Just Joe on all your streaming platforms. This is the original Broken Soul, My World, Sad Wings, Missing You, Judgment Day, Shattered, incredible album on Century Media. If you like Black Label Society, you would absolutely love Brand New Sin. They had a lot of songs in Sons of Anarchy. Great show with the little meat on a bum. I don't know if it's a guy or a gal. That's the fun part. And this is on orange vinyl. Like a safety orange, which we always like. Straight up safety orange. So very cool. Then I have the other Brand New Sin album, Tequila, which has a guest appearance by Pete Steele and a classic cover of House of the Rising Sun, which I believe was featured in Sons of Anarchy Season 5. Also on this record, Said and Done, Did Me Wrong, The Proposition, See the Sun, Motormouth, Numero Dos, Ace Hole. Produced by Joey Z of Life of Agony, a homie. And here's that color, Tequila, great album, really underrated band. They did a reunion show maybe 3 years ago. Don't know if they will ever come back again, but here is the vinyl. This is what is this? Tequila Gold vinyl. Nice. Just so you can see that there. Enjoy. All right, now I got a couple from My Ruin. Terry B, I'm a huge fan, was the voice of Taurus Satana and Manhole, as well as My Ruin, still making music at 60-something years old. This is Throat Full of Heart. They had been in a terrible car accident and had a whole injury and scars and tattoos ruined and a really difficult rehab. Throat Full of Heart, real underrated banger. This pattern is metallic silver vinyl. Just so you can see the pattern there. It's also a little translucent, but not completely translucent. So let's see. There we go. That's a little better. And then another My Ruin, The Horror of Beauty on finally on vinyl, never been on vinyl, Blood Moon vinyl. So this is a rich red. Here's the My Ruin cover. The Horror of Beauty, an incredible album. Rap metal, heavy metal, new metal. Tremendous, tremendous. Irate Bass passing by. Here's this record with the hype sticker. I got all the hype stickers. I do love that these are mostly all in the paper with the Mylar. You do not want to keep your records in paper sleeves. It creates dust and it's bad. Oh, look at this gorgeous translucent Blood Moon red, huh? Look at that, with a little bit of texture in it, inside of it. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 1, 2, 3 to go. Pound Hound. So this was put out by Inside Out Century Media Music. This is a solo album by Doug Pinnick of King's X. I'm a huge King's X fan. And I have Dogman on vinyl and a few others. But this is a Pineapple Skunk on pineapple yellow vinyl with lyrics and everything. I love Doug. I'll have to break this out and talk to him about it. And, I assume the artists are getting paid for these records. I hope they are. As you see my new banker's lamp right there. Here's the beautiful yellow, kind of a translucency yellow with the Pound Hound there. Very cool. All right, 2 to go, and they're both from the band Battlecross. And I am a huge fan of this band. They're sadly defunct. They also came back for a sort of holiday reunion show last year. Probably not doing too much anymore. This is Rise to Power. This was their breakthrough on Metal Blade, reached number 4 on the Billboard Heat Seekers charts, September 2015, 11 years ago. Silver Bullet Power vinyl. So here's the album cover, and then the sleeve. Battlecross out of Detroit, kick-ass band, crossover thrash, brutal vocals sometimes. I was a big fan. They just kind of hit a peak and they never got any bigger. Here's that silver vinyl. Silver's kind of a silver splatter. Very cool. And then last and not least, yet another Battlecross to round this out, this giant trauma dump. Here's another Blood Moon vinyl, Pursuit of Honor by Battlecross. Push, Pull, Destroy, the #1 most requested song on Sirius XM in Liquid Metal. 2012, 5 weeks in a row. I interviewed the band in person at New England Metal and Hardcore Fest back when I lived in Boston. Here's the album cover. Killer album, Pursuit of Honor, Push, Pull, Destroy, Caleb, named for Gumby's son. Who's got to be like a teenager now. Deception, Man of Stone, Breaking You, Rupture, Leech, Better Off Dead, Foreshadowing, Killer. Produced by Battlecross and Josh Schroeder. Schrodinger's guitar album. And last and not least, here's another Blood Moon translucent vinyl. So sick. This whole thing was like 120, 130 bucks. I got like 10 vinyls. The most expensive one was the Armored Saint because it was brand new at the time. So yeah. Thanks for hanging out with me for that. That was amazing. And that's our show at a very manageable 1 hour and 10 minutes. I did that whole unboxing in less than 10 minutes. That's pretty cool, more or less. And again, check out Boone's Overstock and Brutal Planet Records. They have Stuck Mojo, Ray Alder, a whole bunch of stuff that I thought had never been on vinyl or couldn't get any more on vinyl. and I'm really grateful to buy these things. They were packed beautifully. I know people, any kind of service business is always going to struggle, but it was packed like a box within a box with padding. So you really can't ask for, especially if you're going to buy like 10 records, that they come shipped to you perfectly. It was absolutely beautiful. But anyway, that's our show. Again, please be safe this weekend. Don't drink and drive. Keep Nazis out of fucking metal, especially hardcore, but all metal. And, you know, go check out these little bits of plastic that bring people joy. And with that out of the way, like I say every week at this juncture of the show, it's a tough time in the world. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Like and subscribe if you're new here. Check us out on our podcast and at ghostcultmag.com. I am Keefe. You've been terrific. Have a great, great weekend. Peace. Thanks, everybody.